ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the school board meeting. This time I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask Mrs. Bass to please call the roll.
District 1, Barbara McQuinn. Here. District 2, Chuck Shaw.
Here.
District 3, Karen Brill.
Here.
District 4, Erica Whitfield.
Here.
District 5, Frank Barrieri.
Here.
District 6, Marcia Andrews.
Here.
District 7, Deborah Robinson.
Here.
Let the record show all 7 board members are here. This month we would like to welcome the Olympic Heights High School Marine Junior ROTC program here to present the flag and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Immediately after, we would like to have the choir from Yeager Middle School who will perform the naming This is a little confused on this one. I'll try this again. The Yeager Middle School choir will be leading us in the national anthem. And the name of this group are the Mustang Ladies. So they will be singing the national anthem, and thank you very much. So at this time, please stand for our pledge, the national anthem.
Mark time, march. Left turn, march. Color guard, halt. Freeze colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous light o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming on the rocket's red gleam, clouds bursting in air, through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Carry colors. Ready, cut, right, face, forward, march.
We'd again like to thank both those groups. Great job, and that choir group was amazing tonight. So congratulations to the color guard and to the students from Yeager. We'd also like to recognize the principals of our 2 schools from Olympic Heights High School, Mr. David Clark, and the principal of Yeager Middle School, Dr. Anthony Allen. Also, this month we have one proclamation that is on the consent agenda proclaiming August 31st as International Overdose Awareness Day. We'll move the agenda. We have no minutes for this meeting, and we have 4 items added. Dr. Fenoy, any other items to add to the agenda?
No other items to add at this time, sir.
And I see we have 4 items that have been withdrawn. Any other items to withdraw? Okay.
Those are pulled.
All right.
Not withdrawn.
All right. Those items have been pulled from the consent agenda. Does anybody want to pull any items from consent? We have 4 items, I believe, 4 items that have been pulled so far. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda? Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Are there any abstentions or disclosures? Mrs. Brill.
Thank you. Cornerstone Solutions and Rick Iznani have been my campaign consultants. At the recommendation of legal and an abundance of caution, I will be abstaining from discussion and voting on item FMPF2.
Any others? If not, we will move the agenda tonight, and we'll hear from him in a little bit longer, but you'll notice that we have an additional person joining us at the dais tonight. We'd like to welcome Nolan Ursoy, who is a student at Park Vista High School, a senior. So, Mrs. Brill, you're one high school. We now have a student from that. So welcome, and we hope you enjoy your experience here with the board. So you'll be called on later for your comments. Superintendent and board member comments. Dr. Fenoy.
Yes, good afternoon, board members. I'm pleased to report that we had a smooth and successful opening of schools on Monday, and that's a credit to every single member of Team Palm Beach. On Monday, more than 174,000 students began classes at district-operated schools. Every one of our schools had a police officer on campus. Let's give a round of applause for that, please. Nearly 83% of our buses arrived at school before the bell rang. There were 22,350 breakfasts and 86,337 lunches served. That's an increase of 1,700 lunches compared to this time last year. When the school day ended Monday, our brand new student information system had more than 18,000 parents signed up. That number continues to grow every day. The feedback from parents on SIS has been fantastic. They love being able to keep up with their students' assignments, track their attendance, and see their grades in real time. This kind of information for our parents. This is the kind of information our parents have been asking for, and the team delivered. School districts and schools everywhere always hit some bumps on the first day of school, but our issues were isolated incidents, and our team has been working hard to address those things. The work that our operations team put in over the summer, from facilities to transportation to IT to food service to police, is paying dividends this week. And I want to thank them for their commitment to our students and schools, allowing us to have an excellent opening day that is carrying on through this week. At this time, I want to show you a video of our opening day.
This is my beautiful brand new bus, brand new. Thank you, County. Thank you, school board officials.
Palm Beach County school buses roared to life before sunrise, including 157 new buses purchased through the penny sales tax.
Bye, Mommy. Love you.
Drivers fanned out throughout the county, picking up excited students along the district's 655 routes. Students arriving at school greeted by police officers on every campus.
All right.
Superintendent Donald Fenoy visited students and staff at numerous schools, including Pine Jog Elementary, which improved its letter grade from a C to an A.
Well, this school has done amazing work. They went from a C to an A last year. You couldn't be more excited for the kids here and the families. So we just thought we'd come out and help celebrate the beginning of a great new year.
All right.
Deputy Superintendent Keith Oswald started his day at Barton Elementary, where he began his career as a teacher 25 years ago.
Some of the teachers that I taught with 25 years ago still here, working hard for kids, making a difference.
He also visited North Grade Elementary, which added a 6th grade dual language program and will add 7th and 8th grade programs over the next 2 years. Elsie Swain Middle School also now offering a 6th grade dual language program.
Hola, Solita.
Students throughout the district speak more than 150 languages, but it's the universal language that most interests this 2nd grader.
Math because it's fun and I get to answer questions.
Several schools began the new year with new principals, including Allison Castellano at Omni Middle School and Corey Brooks at William T. Dwyer High School.
It's a large campus. I want to make meaningful relationships with every student, every staff member.
Wellington Landings Middle School reopened with a fresh look. This campus, one of 10 closed over the summer, as workers completed major structural overhauls funded through the penny sales tax. Lots of excitement at Gove Elementary. Not only did this school raise its letter grade, it also received a nearly $1.5 million Schools of Hope grant to provide additional social services for students and families and training for teachers. The school district of Palm Beach County is an A-rated district, and everything you need to know to stay informed can be found on the district's app, so download it today. Welcome back, and make it super, PBC. Claudia Shea reporting for the Education Network, keeping you informed.
I think the last comment I'll make, it is no secret to most people that I was a high school principal and have somewhat of a phobia of elementary schools. And let me say this to you. Going to Pine Jog, seeing the kindergarten wing with adults crying more than kids was quite traumatic for me. When my daughter starts kindergarten in 3 years, I don't know what's going to happen to me. It's not going to be a good look for this 6'4" man to be crying because his baby girl is starting kindergarten. But it was so great to see everyone, and it was a great experience. And I just thank the whole team for making my first day as a superintendent, first day so wonderful. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Fenoy. And congratulations to the staff, everybody who did work so hard for a good opening. Board member comments. Mrs. McQuinn.
First, thank you, Dr. Fenoy, for an outstanding speech this morning at the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce monthly breakfast meeting. The best way that I can sum up how his speech was I can't think of the word I want. Anyway, it was received, there you go, is several people came up and said how incredibly wonderful he was, but one man, a businessman, said, he made me excited to live here. So that just made my day, too. That was wonderful. So thank you, Dr. Fenoy. One other thing, and I have to give Chief Kitsero credit for this, for reminding me, but the recognition is very sincere from my part, too, and that is that in having all of our schools staffed with police officers, we have a great deal of gratitude for our municipalities, because without those mayors and those council members, we wouldn't have those officers in our schools. So a great shout out to all of our municipality leaders also. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Whitfield.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I just want to say welcome back to this school year. It is such a pleasure to be with you all for the start of school again. For those of you that saw me missing for a few weeks, I had a couple health concerns, but I'm doing much better. And I like to say just
most importantly, he felt very safe. That comment has now been made to me multiple times by students and families around the district. So I want to say thank you, Dr. Fenoy, Chief Kitsero, and Ms. Paul, because without you, that wouldn't have happened. The days leading up to the opening of school were very busy for all of us. For me, outside of the school supply drives, I was most excited to have the opportunity to address nearly 1,000 brand new teachers at this year's Teacher Fest at my one and only high school, Park Vista. I was also honored to join Dory Saves Lives in presenting awards to various people in the transportation department at their bus safety event. And congratulations to the Education Foundation of Palm Beach County for receiving a 4-star rating from Charity Navigator. Tonight there are 2 items that I want to mention that are on our agenda. Under the consent agenda, we are approving a memorandum of understanding with One Love, One Community Foundation. This MOU is just one of the ways that our village is working together to support students, especially those who are homeless or in crisis. Under new business, we have a proclamation for International Overdose Awareness Day. This proclamation has been adopted across the county, and I have to share with you that 2 sons of one of my classmates from my K-12 years moved to Florida several years ago. Both of her sons died from prescription drug overdoses in Palm Beach County approximately 1 year apart. The family has been devastated. Their messages sent out to all of us almost daily are heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. Dr. Fenoy and Mr. Oswald, I trust that we will ensure our students are being educated about the dangers of prescription drug abuse and overdose. I am very pleased we are joining again our village in this battle. And last but certainly not least, I would like to personally welcome our new student representative, the Student Council County Council President from my wonderful one and only high school, Park Vista. We welcome you, Nolan Ursoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bell. Mrs. Andrews.
Thank you, and good afternoon to everyone. And certainly, welcome back to our students, teachers, and staff. Hope everyone enjoyed their summer vacation, but right now, we're back and we're rolling. The first day was so successful. Everything just went quite well. I did not see any hiccups, and I was a little bit all over the place. Everyone was all set to go. Congratulations on a wonderful first start, and it takes the whole village to make us fit it just right, and we did. I had the opportunity to ride a bus on Monday, my first day of school, with everybody else that was riding buses. I was able to ride bus code 17 out of Royal Palm Beach facility, leaving to pick up students at 5:15 a.m. Our first pickup was at 5:35, picking up students from Royal Palm Beach, Loxahatchee, the Acreage, Wellington, Arden. And then we had a changeover at the 20-mile bend, meeting new buses there where children coming from the west would pick up a new bus going to the east. And those that were coming from the east would be picking up a bus going to the west. I rode the west bus to the Glades, and I had an opportunity to stop at elementary and middle schools and speak with the folks over in the West Transportation Facility. Thank you to our bus drivers. Thank you to everyone that's a part of this village, this family that makes it happen. Thank you to the parents who are out there in the early mornings when it's really dark and all you can see are the headlights from their cars, making sure that our students are safe as they get on the buses. Thank you to the police officers that are circulating around our bus stop areas to make sure that everyone is safe. So we were out there, we made it happen in those early hours, and we're working together to make sure children are safe as they're walking to school, if they're coming with their parents, if they're riding the bus. We all play a role in safety. A couple of things I'd like to share with you, and one was a big event. Special presentations were held in the Glades region by Ms. Dickie Sykes, the Director of Diversity and Business Practices, along with the purchasing team, Ms. Darcy Garbick and Mrs. Janelle McMahon. They were there making Thank you.
Mr. Barbieri.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Fenoy and your staff. I've been on the school board 10 years, and that was the easiest opening that I've ever seen in my district. I was waiting all day for my phone to start ringing because it usually doesn't. I was amazed. So I want to thank you. Special thank you to Mrs. Pollard, Chief Operating Officer. There were some issues in my schools at the last minute. She got them resolved, and it worked out well. Special thank you to Dr. Saltzman and the regional staff down there, Dr. Sheffield, Mrs. Wyatt, Mr. Pegg, and Mr. Hepburn, and of course our police officers in the city of Boca Raton police officers who made the schools in my district safer and gave the parents and the children a sense of security while they were there. The bus drivers, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know how they did it, but they were wonderful, and I appreciate all the hard work all you bus drivers put in to get the kids to school on time. The kids in my district were all at school when they were supposed to be there. There was no calls from parents screaming about the buses weren't there, but so whatever you did to make it work, thank you, and I hope you continue doing that the rest of the school year. But thank you, Dr. Fenoy. Your staff did a phenomenal job of getting the schools ready for us.
Dr. Robinson.
Thank you. Yes, let me add my accolades to this list of speeches about how great it's been in the opening of school. You know, I've been doing a lot of public speaking lately, and and you know, I really am proud to be a member of this leadership team and to see not only how far we've come, but to see where we're going. And I'm looking forward to shifting gears, you know, to make things even better for the students of Palm Beach County and the adults that serve them. So I really don't have much to add to the specifics of the opening of school accolades, but I do need to get back on point with my Black History fact for the month. So, according to an article published by NPR, the movie Black Panther sold more pre-sale tickets in its first 24 hours than any other superhero movie. For those who didn't see it, Black Panther's real name was T'Challa, and he's the king of what I thought was a mythical African nation of Wakanda. Black Panther had superpowers including speedy healing, tremendous knowledge, and enhanced senses, which he attributed to his ancestors. So just so you know, Black Panther was the first black superhero in mainstream comics and first appeared in 1966. He appeared in issue number 52 of the Fantastic Four, and T'Challa protected his country from neighboring tribes as well as alien shapeshifters. So prior to reading this NPR article, I would tell people that the closest thing we have to Wakanda is Howard University. Yay! But apparently Wakanda is a fictional version of the Mutapa Empire of 15th century Zimbabwe. The Mutapa Empire was preceded by Great Zimbabwe. In the 15th century, Arab traders attempted to take it over. Facing this threat, a man named Mutota, a king from a different clan, succeeded in uniting local tribes to drive the Arabs away by force. His son later extended the father's power over what is now Mozambique, Zambia, and South Africa to create the Mutapa Empire. Again, according to NPR, Mutapa thrived from the 1400s to about 1760. And included, as I stated, part of what's now modern-day South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Zambia. It was organized with little villages, provinces, as well as a capital city, each with a king. The people worshiped their ancestors, and the king was believed to be well connected to the spirit world. Mutapa was organized, I said that the people worshiped their ancestors, and the king was believed, I'm repeating myself, its superpower was not due to vibranium, which was a mineral left after a meteorite crash in Wakanda. Their superpower was based on its superior, what NPR referred to as staggeringly effective trade system of gold, ivory, salt, and cotton. Mutapans traded within their own borders, but also with Europe, Asia, and North Africa. At the height of its trading boom, it seemed invincible. However, in the 1500s, after many civil wars, the Portuguese attempted to invade and were unsuccessful, but instead corrupted the political system overthrowing the ruler and replacing with their own leader. So that was in 1629. The Portuguese continued to control the government of Mutapa until 1917. So Wakanda is real, and we should make sure the children of Palm Beach County know all of history, as I've said before, 360 degrees, including Mutapa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The board really indicated how smooth the opening was this year, and I too want to thank everybody. Every year, one of the people in the district that I always need to see is a gentleman who works at Belglade Elementary. He is in his 42nd year in Palm Beach County, and he's the head custodian at that school, Mr. Sam King. So I know that Sam's probably not watching this because he's involved with all kinds of things in the community and has been for many, many years. But there's a rule that if I ever do go out west, the first place I have to go before I go anyplace else is to Belglade L and see Sam. So I went there the other day with Mr. Oswald, and Mr. King told us that he will be retiring in February. So after this will be his 42nd year in this. But you talk about people who are kind of under the radar screen, who aren't the ones who look for a lot of publicity and recognition all the time. Sam is the life of that community, and the kinds of things he does for that school, I think, are the kinds of things that we should just be so happy that we have employees in this district that reach out to that degree. So thank you very much. And Dr. Fenoy.
Yeah, so I had the privilege of attending an event with Office Depot at Belgrade Elementary yesterday, and Mr. King made sure he introduced himself to me, but he also told me that he was also the barbecue man of the Glade. So we got to find a way for me to taste this food because I want to see what Mr. King is producing out there.
Dr. Fenoy and Mrs. Andrews, I think I told Sam if he has a if there's a retirement party, that I would volunteer to cook. So I think the three of us should volunteer to do a barbecue for him in February when he gets
and
it.
Mr.
So
Shaw, we're going to get him signed up to be a vendor for the school district since his barbecue.
So, thank you very much. At this time, we'll move into our presentations from our communications department. So if the board will go forward, we have two presentations tonight.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, superintendent staff, and community members. This evening, as Chairman Shaw said, we have two presentations. First, we want to recognize three valuable business partners whose monetary donations to three of our district schools funded beautification projects to improve and upgrade the school grounds. The projects included murals, interior and exterior painting, sod and mulching, new plants throughout campus, vegetable gardens, and picnic benches. One of the vendors, Office Depot, contributed $80,000 to Pine Grove Elementary School in Delray Beach for their beautification. And that is the largest school beautification project in Palm Beach County School District history. More than 500 volunteers worked diligently to enhance the school. Our district television station, the Education Network, was on hand during the beautification work. And at this time, we'd like to share a brief 2-minute video from that day.
This is the Depot difference. 565 Office Depot associates, friends, and family members spent their Saturday at Pine Grove Elementary School in Delray Beach, sodding, mulching, lining the parking lot, cleaning, and painting. This is the largest school beautification project in School District of Palm Beach County history.
The 500 of us out here today, it's a day we'll never forget.
Besides the time, sweat, and energy, Office Depot has contributed $80,000 to the school, providing items like furniture in the teacher's lounge. Their partner in the project is the Education Foundation of Palm Beach County. During a break for lunch, the volunteer crew was reminded of the importance of their service.
Monday morning, 450 children are going to come here and be inspired to know that somebody cared. They're going to know that Office Depot cared. And those 450 children are going to go out and they may change the world. That's how we change the world, one student at a time.
Pine Grove's principal got emotional talking about the kindness of the group.
I just can't believe the amount of work that you have done. I want you to know I appreciate it, and I'm so thankful.
In the end, a group picture. The team comes together in red, and in their belief, we can all make a difference. They call it I'm Rick Blackwell for the Education Network, keeping you informed.
So for their generosity to the school district and for the hard work of their associates and volunteers, we extend a heartfelt thank you to Office Depot. If we have someone from Office Depot here this evening, we want to recognize Alex Price, the National Director for Community Relations for Office Depot, Ms. Shantae King, the Principal at Pine Grove Elementary, Mr. James Gavrilos, President and CEO of the Education Foundation, and Rick Peoples, the Area Manager for the school district's Facilities Services, who managed the project. Let's give them a round of applause.
Wait, you can't see Miss Brill. Or Miss McQuinn. And finally, we want to recognize Comcast for their generosity to Belvedere Elementary School, also here in West Palm Beach. Comcast made a $17,000 donation to the school, and more than 200 volunteers worked hard in carrying out the beautification work. We thank Comcast for their generosity, and we want to acknowledge the following people for their efforts as part of the beautification. Diane Mahar, the principal at Belvedere Elementary, Liz Harbor, Single School Culture Coordinator at Belvedere Elementary, Kesta James, Area Manager for the district's Facilities Services, who managed the project, Stacy Marshall, Director for the district's Facilities Services, Eva Boyd, Specialist, Government and Community Impact for Comcast, and Mr. Derek Cooper, Vice President, Government Affairs and Community Investment for the Florida region from Comcast. And at this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Cooper to please come to the podium to say a few words. Let's give them all a round of applause.
So one of the great things of, for Comcast Cares Day is seeing the before and after of each project. But one of the unique benefits of being a Comcast Cares Day project is that every organization that comes out and partners with us, we do a Comcast Foundation grant check back based on the number of participants we had. And at Belvedere Elementary, we had over 700 participants and volunteers come out. So tonight, we want to present a check to Belvedere Elementary in the amount of $14,000. So now you can buy that electric sign or that a laminator for the teachers.
Thank you so much, Comcast. And finally this evening, we want to recognize one of our school board members for an important award she recently received, which she alluded to earlier. Miss Erica Whitfield, she joined the school board in 2014, representing District 4. Back in June, she was honored as the 2018 recipient of the Compass Leadership Award. Compass is an organization
that promotes awareness for the LGBT community, and they give the Leadership Award to recognize the achievements of elected and appointed officials who display the highest level of commitment and long-established record of leadership in social justice embodied by the Compass organization mission. Ms. Whitfield strongly supported the development of the district-wide We're All In initiative that provides resources to teachers and district staff who can assist students when they are facing issues with bullying. Through this CDC grant-funded project, those employees who are willing to provide support and guidance to students wear a We're All In multicolored badge, indicating that they are a safe haven where students may seek help. We are extremely proud to congratulate Ms. Erica Whitfield this evening for receiving this award and for her commitment to the school district and the community. Here this evening with us is Ms. Julie Seaver, the Executive Director of the Compass organization, and one of our own district employees, Mr. Michael Wood. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you so much for the invitation to be here this evening to re-recognize Miss Erica in a room full of her peers. More importantly, we're so lucky to have you in our district representing all of our students. I first met Erica Whitfield through the Lake Worth Kiwanis in 2008. And so apparently she has been advocating for our youth since she was the age of 12, apparently. So Compass is the LGBT organization of the Palm Beaches, and we are located in downtown Lake Worth, which is Miss Erica's district. And so we were honored to be able to work directly with her, specifically to honor her for her advocacy for all students. And typically it's because of regardless of gender expression, gender identity, and sexual orientation. But Erica has a way of making each student feel special in our district and paying close attention to those students that are most at risk for bullying and the challenges that the LGBTQ youth especially face. So thank you so much.
So I know some of you have seen me several places. I have sat here and spoken, but I am also, I'm a treasurer of the Board of Trustees of Compass. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it's my 17th year being on the Board of Trustees of Compass, but I started my 26th year as a professional educator in Palm Beach County. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, my fellow professional educators, I am an all-in person. I'm a safe space at San Lucius Community High School, and I have to tell you, I see faces up here that if we could recognize each of you at each of our events, I know what you do. I see what you do. Unfortunately, we can recognize one person a year, but don't think that the things that you do for LGBTQ people and to promote equality and a fair education for all individuals in a bully-free environment goes unnoticed by any of us, especially your employees and on the students and those who receive services through Compass. So congratulations, Erica, and congratulations, the board, for promoting and always being advocates for all of us.
Oh, if the board can just stay up there just a few more minutes for us. As mentioned earlier, we'd like to welcome our new student rep, Mr. Nolan Ursoy, and we'd like to have him come down and take a photograph with his colleagues for this school year. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Mr. Chairman, board members, superintendent and staff, and members of the community, this concludes the presentations for August. The Communications and Engagement Department invites you to visit the district website at www.palmbeachschools.org to learn about all the great things happening in our schools, departments, and communities. Make sure to follow us on social media, available in English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole. And we also encourage you to download our new mobile app in Google Play or from the App Store. Search for School District of Palm Beach County in either store. Thank you everyone so much for your attention this evening, and have a good night.
Thank you very much. At this time, we have our student government report. So at this time, we'll turn it over to Nolan Ursoy. Welcome aboard, and all yours.
Hello. Thank you. I would like to say thank you to Mr. Shaw and Mrs. Brill for the gracious welcome. I'm very excited and thankful to take on this position and help improve the school year for all of my fellow Palm Beach County students. I can say as a student, the first day did in fact go very well for me at least, and for students at Park Vista. Very good transition. That being said, I'd like to mention things that I'd like to do for this year. My campaign goals, what I ran on, the way I got elected. This year I want to see all the Palm Beach County schools that participate in county council to work further together, because as we are one large organization, we don't really work together as much as we could. I think we could take on much larger projects as a larger organization and get much larger goals done. Other than that, we've been planning our first county meeting as a county council will be on September 27th. The theme for the meeting will be an around the world theme, a multicultural and a cultural awareness, because on that day it's also International Tourism Day, so we're trying to kind of go with that and just promote multicultural and cultural awareness things to all the different student governments. For that, so far we've been planning the service project for that and looking for different speakers, looking at different options. We still haven't figured that out. But we will soon. And aside from that, we began collecting dues from all the schools that choose to participate in the county council and the middle schools and high schools. Really from that, all the student governments across all schools ran freshman orientations and welcome back, and we're all just happy back to be at school. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And earlier, when I met Mr. Ursoy, I told him there's a question that he'll be asked in order to graduate, and he had already been informed that he has to answer that question, so he's prepared for that question later. So our next item on the agenda are committee reports. We have 3, and invite all 3 reps to please come forward: Academic Advisory Committee, Audit Committee, and Cork.
Good evening, Chairman Shaw, school board members, Dr. Fenoy, and staff. My name is Laura Feldman, and I'm the newly re-elected chair of the Academic Advisory Committee. The Academic Advisory Committee held our first meeting for this school year on Monday, August 6th. During our meeting, we heard presentations about the upcoming referendum and an instructional update reviewing some information about the progress in the strategic plan goals. During the referendum presentation, we learned how, if passed, the referendum will help improve teacher salaries and assist the district in meeting staffing needs for safety and mental health supports in school. If the referendum passes, staff explained that the district will be able to add an additional 80 officers and security aides at schools. There will be funds for a behavior coach in every school. There will be more mental health clinicians and about 50 more school counselors. There was a question about how the district plans to solve the problem of insufficient workforce availability, and staff explained that they are working to recruit and develop academies which will prepare interested students to enter the mental health support careers, similar to the district's current teaching academies. The committee also discussed concerns about that this referendum will be located at the bottom of the last page of the ballot, and that voters will need to pay attention and read through the whole ballot. Committee members identified to staff that they found especially helpful to learn during the presentation. Committee members recommended that future presentations also have flyers available with simplified versions of the information, along with explanations about the differences between this and the penny sales tax. We were also happy to hear about the progress that the district has made toward the goals outlined in the strategic plan. Committee members had questions about the programs in place to address the chronic absence problems. We heard a brief summary about the program Project Ground with Harvard that is working to address these issues. We also heard that some areas also have attendance coaches to help assist with solving the problems causing absenteeism. A committee member asked whether there is a consideration of changing the instructional practices to increase student engagement through such methods as inquiry-based learning. Another committee member asked how staff will reach parents who block the district's robocalls, because that seems to be particularly difficult. We also briefly reviewed the data regarding AP, ACE, IB, and dual enrollment. While many subgroups' participation in these classes were noted, there were requests to see the data for students who are in the following categories: free and reduced lunch, English language learners, and exceptional student education students. Our next meeting will be September 17th. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Audit Committee, Mr. Silver.
Good evening. Two special review reports were presented at the meeting, one from Western Pines Middle and one from Palm Beach Lakes High School. You have these reports in your packages. I'm available if you have any questions. Of course, Mr. Chu is available as well. In addition, the district's outside CPA firm, RSM, presented their audit plan for this ending year, June 2018. The audit committee, we will monitor their process and progress over the next few months. We expect to see the final work product from them, which is the management letter and single audit, hopefully in the beginning of December. Our general counsel, Ms. Rico, gave a brief update to the committee on the status of Eagle Arts Academy Charter School. As we all know, there were 380 students there. She gave us the details of what was happening there, what happened, and also advised us how, of course, the board is concerned about the students. Mr. Chu presented through the Office of Inspector General his proposed work plan for the current year. We discussed it at the meeting. The plan provides details of all proposed projects for both performance and school audits. And the Office of Inspector General, along with members of the Audit Committee, and the school board will have a workshop on September 5th, and the work plan will be reviewed and hopefully adopted by the board at a future board meeting. That's all I got.
Thank you very much. Mr. Doctor.
Chairman Shaw, board members, superintendent. Cork met on August 9th. 11 out of the 12 active Cork members participated in the meeting, so we had excellent attendance, and they all participated in it. There were 12 items on your agenda that we reviewed. PC1 was pre-qualified vendors. Those are vendors who want to do business with the county, and we pre-qualify them so when they actually bid, the pre-qualification process is out of the way. That they're licensed, they're certified, we look at their litigation status, and all that's cleared up. So it's easy for them to enter into the bid process. 5 new vendors were introduced, and there were 5 renewals. PC2 was to fund modular building usage in the county. PC3 was for construction management services, and PC4 through 9 were all design contracts for 12 schools by 7 different architects. And Cork wanted me to make sure I mentioned to you that they were very pleased with the quality of the documentation, the thoroughness of it. The few questions they had were easily answered by your staff, and the meeting went very well. That was in spite of the fact that there were 2,000 pages of documentation that we received. And we know that some of it is duplication of contracts. But the packages were exceptionally well put together. It's a credit to your staff that it really made our job easy. And the few questions we had, they answered without any trouble at all. In addition to that, there was PC10 for relocation of concretable portables, and PC11, which was design services on Odyssey Middle School. So like I said, everything was approved by vote of 11-0. There's one other minor item. We do review policies and procedures that document what we do in the construction area. And they've developed an excellent set of policies and procedures that are independent of the people. When new people follow them, we don't have any problems. There was one on liquidated damages where Cork voted to accept it by a vote of 9-2. Liquidated damages are penalties that contractors pay if they don't finish the job in time per our contract. and there's two parts of it. One is substantial completion, which means the kids are available to go into the school and use the facilities, but not all the documentation is cleared, and the final is final completion, and there are penalties associated with it. Those penalties get negotiated with your purchasing department and the vendors, and there's amicable workout in most cases. Lots of difficult, extenuating circumstances get involved. And Cork majority felt that the purchasing department did an excellent job, and there was no need for us to review every one of them. That's why there was some difference of opinion there. Our next meeting is on September 6th, and we want to, again, congratulate your staff, purchasing and facilities, and the excellent job that they did. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next item on the agenda, and before we go to this, when I made my comments, there was one thing that I did overlook, and when Mr. Silver mentioned Eagle Arts, I think another thank you that needs to be given is to our charter school department, Dr. Licata, Mr. Pegg, all of their staffs, our people in records management, and everyone who worked to make the transition of the children from that school one that worked out. I understand that the district hired several of the teachers from that school, and that we've been successful with working with parents to get all of those students in schools. The open house that was done here was something that was commendable, so thank you to them. Each month, the board recognizes the families of employees who passed away recently, and tonight we have 4 that we'd like to recognize. The first was Sheila Calhoun, was an elementary teacher at Timber Trace, born in 1962, passed away in May of 2018. Sonia Newkirk Johnson was a behavioral physical needs assistant at H.L. Watkins Middle School, born in 1967, passed away in June of 2018. And Aquinas Tambamutu, who was a day-to-day sub, born in 1946 and passed away in 2018. We also lost somebody who had been involved with this school district for many, many years, Ineria Hadley Hudnall, who was a retired teacher and a historian here in West Palm Beach. And she worked with the district for many years and has contributed a tremendous amount to her community. She passed away, or was born in 1920 and passed away August of 2018. So at this time, can we take a moment of silence in remembrance of these individuals? Thank you very much. Our next item on the agenda are speakers. We have elected officials or delegation, and we have six speakers. So I'll call 3 at a time. James Gavrilos from the Ed Foundation, Claudio Kirk-Barto from Junior Achievement, and Charmaine Postel from the PTA.
Should I defer to the ladies or should I plunge ahead? All right. Good evening, school board members and Dr. Fenoy, and again, congratulations are added from the Ed Foundation on an incredible week. Doctor, we were out with you yesterday at Glades Elementary, as we will be with you tomorrow at Washington for the Start Proud, and to see the excitement of the kids is infectious. A couple of quick updates on Your Education Foundation. It's been an extremely busy summer for supply drives. We have had 220 of our boxes spread throughout the county collecting school supplies for our Red Apple Supply Store, which, as I shared with you at last month's meeting, this year we are expanding to incorporate 42 schools. So we're clear, the 42 schools that we serve all have a population where 95% of the children are on free or reduced lunch. Our goal at Red Apple Supply is one day every one of our schools would be able to come, and we'd be able to make sure that no teacher would ever have to dip into their pockets again. We have a great job at the Ed Foundation. We work with these amazing partners like Comcast, Florida Power and Light, Office Depot that you heard earlier. Bank of America has had our supply drive boxes in every one of their branches in Palm Beach County. On Saturday night, we had a great time at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium. Dr. Fenoy, you should be proud. Dr. LaCava threw out the first pitch, along with Fab Brumley. And I won't mention that Fab Brumley threw it better than Dr. LaCava did, but he did get to throw out the first pitch. to illustrate the excitement that is around Red Apple Supply Store in the business community here in Palm Beach County, Bryce Sartori, who's Director of Governmental Affairs for the Realtors Association of both Palm Beach and Broward, has been doing a supply drive for us. Today he had to rent a truck, and 15 realtors brought 27 boxes of school supplies, totaling about 1,700 pounds, which translates into school supplies for just over 200 children. This is the business community you have here. So Red Apple Supply is up and running. The second area that I would address, you'll be getting a formal invitation from us, board members, and obviously Doctor and your team. Our Go Teach grants will be awarded on Thursday evening, September 27th, at Kaiser University, their flagship campus. We're going to be asking board members to join in the presentation of these grants to over 60 local teachers who have creative and innovative ideas that we think are going to touch lives, change lives, and really elevate children out of that cycle of poverty and give them the education they need to succeed. So we're very excited about our Go Teach grants. We're excited about the partnerships we have with the business community as well as the school district. And Doctor, I want to thank you, Amity Schuyler, and your entire staff, Rick Peoples, and the whole operations team who have made these school renovations go so smoothly. Last but not least, I'm going to actually finish early tonight. That may be the first time in history. And I want to thank Karen Brill for your very kind words. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I often and typically close my presentations with, we are your education foundation. And we were very proud this year when Charity Navigator, who is the nation's largest assessor of charities, issued a 4-star rating for the Education Foundation of Palm Beach County. According to their own rating system, this puts us in the top 25% of all charities nationwide. What it means is that when people contribute, their funds are being used appropriately, efficiently, and productively, and it means we're very transparent. So I want to thank Dr. Fenoy and the board for all of your support. I certainly want to thank Mr. Ed Tanser from Gunster and Meredith Trim and the entire board of directors of the Education Foundation and that incredible staff that we have that every day goes out and do what we can for the schools, teachers, and students in the finest school district in the state of Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, we are your Education Foundation.
Thank you very much. Ms. Bartow.
Good evening. I'm Claudia Kirk-Bartow, and I'm the president of Junior Achievement of the Palm Beaches and Treasure Coast, as you know, because I've been in front of you before. But tonight I also have our education chair for Junior Achievement, Leanne LeBons, with me, but she had me do the presentation. Thank you very much. She is a trustee at the Stiles Nicholson Foundation, which is an amazing partner, both of Junior Achievement and the Ed Foundation and the school district programs. But you'll be receiving in a couple of days the statistics that I'm going to go over today in a quick report, because Junior Achievement makes about $1 million investment in the schools and in the students in our community. So it's been a success. We've been successful in equipping our future generations to be financially capable and tenacious, providing them with the tools to solve problems creatively, manage risk effectively, and welcome opportunity. Through our innovative and experiential financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurial K through 12 programming, that's K through 12, not everyone remembers that, we help the next generation navigate their path toward their dreams. And during the 2017-18 school year, we connected 516 volunteers from 105 businesses with over 1,115 classrooms in Palm Beach County. Our volunteers served as role models and brought the real world into the classroom by providing 157,606 contact and instructional hours to those students, and that was about 25,500 students. And we know that this year is going to be even more exciting. Some of you know what's going on kind of behind the scenes and the work that we're doing in partnership, and we are an organization that teaches the difference between wants and needs. Those that are not familiar with us, it may seem like we're a want in the world of need, but the truth is that we're filling a critical need of building our future. Well, there are many important and worthwhile organizations responding to the challenges of today. JA is focused on trying to solve the problems of tomorrow. We've all heard the saying, give a man a fish and he eats for the day, teach a man a fish and he eats for a lifetime. Well, similar to that teaching a man to fish, JA programs teach the skills that will benefit students throughout their lives. And I want to continue to thank you, and thank you because through the School District of Palm Beach County support, we've been able to continue our mission to inspire the next generation to navigate their path towards their goals. And our goal is to create long-term partnerships with all those businesses that we've talked about and those people that believe in financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship should be taught in the classroom. By supporting junior achievement, you become a partner in our work to impact more students, recruit and train more role model volunteers, and empower youth to transform I can't into I can. Thank you so much for the partnership, and I look forward to an exciting year. And I'll come more often, like James, because we partner a lot on a lot of things. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Ms. Postal.
Good evening, Dr. Fenoy, Chairman Saw, and school board members and staff. Charmaine Postal, as the new elected president of Palm Beach County Councils of PTAs and PTSAs. I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of PTA in our county. I'm excited to update you regarding our recent accomplishments. Many of our volunteers last month returned from Florida PTA's Leadership Convention, which we have every year in Palm Harbor, Florida, at Innisbrook. This convention was a wonderful opportunity for PTA members from across the state to network, exchange ideas, enhance their skills, and become empowered child advocates and leaders. At our convention, we were proud to participate in the membership's unanimous vote to adopt 2 resolutions testing English language learners in their native language and the educational implications for dyslexia and other specific learning disabilities. With the adoption of these resolutions, Florida PTA and its members will advocate for these issues and add them to our legislative platform. During our convention, our county council was also proud to receive Florida PTA's Advocacy Award with the help, of course, of what we do, what you all do here at the school district and what our volunteers do. We also received the Program Award. I would like to take this opportunity to again express my thanks to all of our volunteers who made these awards possible. And last but not least, at the convention, I'm thrilled to tell you that Palm Beach County's very own, one of your staff here at the district, Jen Martinez, won her election to be Florida PTA's president-elect. That's a big win for us here at the district as well as PTA. It has been an honor to learn from and work with Jen for the last few years. We are greatly looking forward to her leadership of Florida PTA in 2020 and 2022. Palm Beach County Council of PTA has been working hard, meeting with many different organizations. I think I get a call, at least 5 calls a day, such as Achieve Palm Beach County Action Alliance for Mental Health, and many other organizations to ensure that we meet the needs of all children. The PTA is looking forward. Oh my goodness. The PTA is looking forward to looking forward to our first general meeting, which will be held August 20th. This is officers training as well as a meeting, as I stated. And we extend the invitation to our Invite, Involve, Invest training and seminar where we have key Florida PTA leaders from around the state. This seminar will focus on mental health, safety, and other key issues. And my last item on my agenda is we are 3 days into the school year. Overall, only 2 words: great job. Our parents really was impressed this school year, these 3 days at least. And as a parent of 4, I was very impressed. I've been at the school every day at 7:15. Before they start, 45 minutes before the start time. Our volunteers are looking forward to working with you all to fulfill PTA's mission to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. We are excited to make this a fantastic year, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and welcome.
Mr. Shaw. Mr. Shaw, I have a point of personal privilege. I'd like to say to Ms. Claudia Kirk-Bartow and Junior Achievement, I'm just so proud of the work that your representatives are doing in the Glades region. I mean, they're on the ground, in the schools, meeting with us monthly. So we hear you, and you're there. So thank you.
Ronald Laporte and Justin Katz. Mr. Laporte.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. My name is Ronald Laporte. I'm one of the representatives from Florida Public Services Union. I'm very pleased to be here tonight. And I will probably sound like a broken record because I come to see exactly the same thing that other people were saying before me, talking about how great it was at the beginning of the school year. The first 3 days is fantastic. But we do know that it's not just the first 3 days that need to be great. It's the first week, the first month, and every day thereafter. We want it to be a very smooth start and finish also. But I've come to understand what is going on with our workers. They are the perfect metaphor for what we call the engine for the district. We're starting with the bus drivers. From the bus drivers, we go to the paraprofessional. From paraprofessional, we go to the food service. Then they go to the teachers. Everybody got a role to play, just like we have a piece of music. Everybody are playing their part to make it work. And one thing that I would like you to know, our members are required of us to seek for respect and dignity. And this is one of the things they ask in addition for them loving what they do for our kids. So today, I'm here to come to let you know that they asked me to ask you, if you have a chance, just one day, walk in their shoes so you can see exactly what they're going through every day to make it work. Because they are the unseen, most of our members, they are unseen people. People don't see them that well. They are working behind the scene. Just like me, I'm not the fourth person, really. I prefer to be behind the scene than me being sitting here, but I have to. And we have a lot of our members from the custodian. You make reference from the custodian working at Belglade Elementary. Maybe not too many people know how long he's been working, or not too many people know how hard this gentleman been working. Most of our members, for the most part, they feel like the manager or the person in charge of them don't really see them that way. And they count on the board members to see them certain ways so they can make it to 40 or 41 years, just like the gentleman in Belgrade. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Mr. Katz.
Thank you, and good evening. I'll echo the sentiment of everyone about the start to the school year. I think that equally as satisfying as the silence of your phones were the silence of the phones at the Classroom Teachers Association, which is a clear indication that there weren't many issues. So that's, again, to be commendable for the entire district and staff. I wanted to state what I'd spoken to at the Teacher Fest a couple weeks ago, which some of you attended, but some of you were unable to, that I look at this year as a transformative year because of many of the things slated to occur. The level of collaboration I stated at Teacher Fest between the teachers, the school district, and the school board, I believe is at a level that has not been seen in a long time. There's a degree of trust and respect and mutual understanding of the needs of labor and management that I think is producing results or producing collaborative efforts that are going to benefit our students and our teachers. So I'm extremely excited. I characterized the beginning of last year, the first semester of last year, as turbulent. That would be the simplest way I guess I could describe my reflection on my first semester as CTA president, but now I'm extremely excited. The opportunity before us to resolve some of the greatest problems that our districts face cannot be understated. In November, the voters are now going to be provided an opportunity by virtue of a vote yesterday at the county commission to allow the district to try to increase security, maintain positions for teachers in the district, to provide a diverse set of curriculum and courses for students, address mental health concerns, as well as try to address the need to keep high-quality educators in the classroom. So I think that it, again, is a testament to the cooperation of all the leadership throughout the district that we've identified serious problems and we've put together a plan that is within reach to address those problems. That's creating a level of optimism, like I said, that I think has not been seen in a long time. So again, I commend you for that. And with that being said, I wish everyone a great year, and I look forward to working with you. I couldn't walk away from the mic today without congratulating a former student of mine, Nolan, for becoming the student government representative. I don't know if I'm more proud or jealous that even though he's 20 years younger than me, he's managed to secure a seat on that dais before I have. But I'm sure when I go home, I'll acknowledge that I'm certainly more proud, and I look forward to seeing him up here every month at the meetings, and I hope that he can learn a lot from the experience up here and take that forward in life. So again, congratulations. Thank you all for the opportunity to speak, and I look forward to a great school year.
Thank you very much. Dr. Fenoy.
Justin, I really believe it's because he has a beard and you don't. I think that's why he got that seat there.
It's another point of jealousy that I left off the table. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes our speakers. At this point, we'll move to the consent agenda. Are there any items anybody would like to pull that we haven't? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion by Mr. Barbieri, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, all opposed. Motion carries 7-0. So at this time, we will move to the regular agenda. First item, FMPA1. Dr. Fenoy. Oh,
New business.
New business. Gone down far enough? BRD2, ratify.
BRD2, I recommend the board approve and ratify the attached proclamation to honor and recognize Aniria Elizabeth Hadley Hudnall.
Is there a motion? Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Dr. Robinson. Any comments? So, Dr. Robinson?
So this is the third proclamation of this type that we've done. It will be my honor to deliver it to the family at her memorial ceremony. I just would like for the English majors to look and see. I believe we should capitalize Black in Black history.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mrs. Andrews?
It would also be my honor to be there, too, to help present this proclamation. I'm a graduate of Roosevelt High School. This is where she taught so many of us so many wonderful things, and I, too, would like to be there. Thank you.
Any other comments? If not, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. COM3.
COM3, I recommend the board proclaim August 31st, 2018 as International Overdose Awareness Day.
Is there a motion by Mr. Barbieri, second by Mrs. Brill? Discussion. Dr. Robinson.
I would just like follow up in terms of what we are doing in terms of curriculum to educate students on the dangers of not only opiates but other substances. And that can be an email later. Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next item, FMPA3.
FMPA3, I recommend the board approve the consultant agreements with Crystal Clear Learning Innovations, LLC for the period September 1, 2018 through June 13, 2019, and authorize the superintendent and board chairman to finalize and sign all necessary documents.
Is there a motion to approve this item? Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, second by Mr. Barbieri. Dr. Robinson.
So it's that time of year when these things start coming forward where we're sharing public dollars with private schools, and so this is the first one. It's a shot over the bow. I'm voting against it. Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 6-1 with Dr. Robinson voting against. FMPF1. Dr. Fenoy.
FMPF1, I recommend the board receive and accept the monthly contract and disbursement report as submitted.
Is there a motion? Motion by Mrs. Brill, second by Mrs. Andrews. Dr. Robinson.
Yep, it's just not good enough, so I'm voting against it.
Mr. Shaw.
Mrs. Andrews.
I spoke about this department a little earlier in my comments. I'm just pretty pleased that they're stepping out of the box to educate and communicate and collaborate with more people, more vendors, more businesses who really don't get an opportunity. When we sometimes look at who actually gets the bid and who actually gets the money based on the advertisement process, many people don't understand that. And I was really very proud of the School District of Palm Beach County in the presentation last week with the Deputy Chief of Operations and the Purchasing Department, General Manager and Director, as well as the Diversity and Business Practices Director, coming out to the community, making it a point that they're going to be working with the cities as well as the chambers, especially in the western region, to make sure that we get more opportunities for people. So this makes me proud, and I just want to be on record again.
Dr. Robinson?
Thank you. Well, maybe I need to be corrected. This is the purchasing report. This is not the work of the Office of Diversity and Business Practices, as I understand. So as I understood the comments, they were based on the work of the Office of the Diversity and Business Practice. I would agree they're making strides, but we're just not there yet. So on this report, total payments to MWBE, SBE, and self-reported firms was 2.98% of the purchases. So this is purchasing.
I do understand that, but we have to get out and get there to make that change. So I want to be on record to say that our district is making an effort. Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 6-1 with Dr. Robinson voting against. Next item, FMPF2.
FMPF2, I recommend the board approve the Amendment 1 to the consultant agreement with Cornerstone Solutions Florida, LLC, and authorize the superintendent and board chairman to finalize and sign all necessary documents.
Is there a motion? Motion by Mrs. McQuinn, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Let the record show this was the item that Mrs. Brill won't vote on. Any comments? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 6-0 with Mrs. Brill abstaining. Next item, LD1.
LD1, I recommend the board authorize the general counsel to file an appeal of the State Board of Education's final order with the 4th District Court of Appeal pursuant to Section 1002.33, 6D Florida statutes.
Motion by Mr. Barbieri, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. LD2.
LD2, I recommend the board authorize the general counsel to file an appeal of the State Board of Education's final order with the 4th District Court of Appeal pursuant to Section 1002.33, 6D, Florida statutes.
Motion by Mr. Barbieri, second by Mrs. Brill. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. P2.
P2, I recommend the board approve the personnel addendum as submitted.
Motion by Dr. Robinson, second by Mrs. Brill. We have good cause on these positions have been added to the board. The good cause are for these people to be, or the good cause tonight were items BRD2, which would be the proclamation. Good cause exists to permit us to get that item to the family in a timely manner. LD1 and LD2 were the items we just talked about related to the appeal. Good cause in order to allow staff time to make the information and do all of the work that needs to be done to meet the requirements of statute. And TL7, the consultant agreement on urban policy, good cause in order for us to encumber the money that has to be encumbered by a certain time. So on P2, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed. Motion carries 7-0. PC11.
PC11 Design Services. I recommend the board approve the design contracts with Song & Associates Incorporated for the Odyssey Middle School site renovations and addition, project number 2601-7100, RFP number 19C-0025, for a fee of $1,193,079, and authorize the superintendent and board chairman to finalize and sign all required documents as necessary.
Is there a motion? Motion by Mrs. Brill, second by Mrs. Whitfield. Mrs. Brill.
Thank you. And I pulled this. I am supporting it. And I did speak to Dr. Fenoy about part of this. But this is one of those occasions when I'm going to be district-centric and talk about the community around the school. The community, back when we approved Odyssey being transitioned into South Tech, the only concern they had in waiting a year was making sure that we had some signage up, that it didn't just look like the school was sitting there. So I did speak to Dr. Fenoy about getting something like coming soon, South Tech Academy. But what came up to me today and also last week subsequent to my comments to Dr. Fenoy is that when we get the architect out there, a very easy fix in the fence around the front of the school, there are cups that spell out number 17 never again and stars forever, and the community's asking, they weren't really loving having plastic cups spelling messages out on the fence, but they're asking now that we're transitioning to something else, just get those cups off there, please. And I promised that to Cobra today that we would move on that signage. Thank you.
Take care of it.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. TL7.
Yes, TL7. I recommend the board approve the consultant agreement with Urban Policy Development, LLC, in the amount of $100,000 for the period of September 13th, 2018 through June 30th, 2019, and authorize the superintendent and board chairman to finalize and sign all necessary documents.
Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Dr. Robinson. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed, motion carries 7-0. That concludes our agenda, so we'll move to non-agenda speakers. I'll call three at a time. Carl Mohammed, Rashana Henderson, Sarah Charisma.
Once again, good evening, team players. Carl Mohammed. As I listened to all of the conversation that's been going on since last year, we knew that that safety was going to be a big ticket this year, and I see where there's been a lot of resources spent in that area. And I know that that's a physical approach that we're taking when we talk about all of the new improvements that we've been making. I just want to come back and remind you again that the tragedy that we're having with African-American children is not the physical one, it's the mental one that we're having, and the mental problem that we're having based upon the misinformation that we're receiving. As I was sitting in the room tonight, I've heard some people that have that kind of ill value system in place relative to trying to educate all of our children. And I pray for y'all's success up there, because you do have a lot of complications coming your way. And as we continue to look at things, I'm hoping that we would look at academics this year and include the idea of Florida Statute 1003.42 and really have a real meaningful dialogue with my community, one that we can stay specifically focused on the real problem. And when you look at the data that you have accumulated with all the reports that you have, the African-American children are on the bottom of it, particularly African-American male. And we're not complaining because we understand the game that's been played on us. But what we're asking now, since we're in an era where everyone is professing that they have moral fiber and they have some kind of decency about themselves, we're asking you to take another critical look at the reality of what is taking place with African-American children. And based upon some of those of you who are sitting up there on the dais, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and we haven't as of yet took this problem that we have with academics and put it in the front of us. And we in Palm Beach County, we've always bragged on the fact that we were leading the rest of the state with our efforts. I'm hoping that we will continue along that line, and we have different things in place, but I hope and I pray that we will refocus ourselves again and really put into the conversation, because even tonight, I know that African-American children are not important to a lot of people, but I still say we're a part of this county. We're some of the longest investors inside of the school district. We have some of the greatest stories to tell, but we haven't looked at the reality of Florida Statute 1003.42. And I'll leave you with a few minutes. Thank you for your time, and until we get on this road, we're going to have to do something different. Dr. Fenoy, I haven't heard anything from the Superintendent Task Force for African American children, particularly the African American male child. I'm hoping that we will make that a priority, recognizing the fact that everything is on the bottom. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Henderson.
Thank you. I'm Roshana Henderson, and greetings to you, Palm Beach County School Board, and I commend you on your great start to the new year. I'm a resident of Palm Beach County, and I'm a mother to a 5-year-old who attends school here. I am here to propose an annual Serenity Stations decoration event. What are Serenity Stations? So, inspiration and safe spaces where students can vent, process, and potentially heal their pain through the process of anonymous journaling. Each morning before school and each night before bed, I lead my daughter through a series of daily affirmations. I am beautiful, I am brilliant, I'm smart, and I am enough, etc. Not sure of all of the effects today, but I know one day when she does not get the best grade on a test she studied for, or is disappointed about things within her control and outside of her control, I know she will hear the internal voice that says, I am beautiful and I am brilliant. Affirmations are important. Our students are growing up in a time more challenging than we would ever want to imagine. There's often fear, anxiety, and other not so great emotions experienced before arriving to school and during the school day. My proposal for Serenity Stations to be created at the Serenity Stations decoration event is to add to the great resources already in existence within the school system. Many students currently have the ability to process and release pain through journaling and art projects as implemented and/or supported by the Social Emotional Learning Programs Advisory Council. The Serenity Station decoration event would be a county-wide event that brings students together on a strictly volunteer basis. The day and time would be approved by the school board. The Serenity Stations are designed for students by students, with oversight from adults such as the Parent-Teacher Association. There are poster boards, markers, journals, vases, and, of course, flowers. There are drinks, snacks, and music. Most importantly, there are students there with a heart and a desire to connect to other fellow students through the creation of affirmation boards for their fellow students who may be experiencing challenges. Through this collective experience, they will learn that all pain is the same and realize that the Serenity Stations are for, well, everyone. My short-term goal would be that this Serenity Station decoration event would be adopted here in Palm Beach County, and long-term, of course, that it would be implemented and adopted across the country. We witnessed the Parkland students bravely galvanize around gun control. The Serenity Stations decoration event offers the opportunity to galvanize around creating a more empathetic and connected environment for our Palm Beach County high schools. Serenity Stations are a place of connection and hope, and in this place we can collectively destigmatize mental illness and the way we view life challenges. The detailed presentation was emailed to you all, but I'm happy to email it to you again at your request. Thank you for your time and consideration, and best of luck this year.
Good evening.
Okay.
First of all,
Ms. Charisma, before you start, somebody from staff will follow up with you on this one. So thank you very much, Ms.
Thank you
Charisma.
for
your time.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say that today is Mother's Day in my country, Costa Rica, so happy Mother's Day. My name is Sarah Charisma, and I am here exercising the freedom of speech in order to defend the dignity of our profession and the education of our children. Today, I'm speaking on behalf of the ESC students in the district. Those students that for many years in the district, for the district and some administrators count as a 0.5 student, not as a 1 student, not as a whole student, with the story or excuse that there are 2 teachers in the classroom. For all of us who work in Palm Beach School District, our priority should be the education of our children, but our number 1 priority should be the education of our ESC students. If there is no money to give education, if there is no money to give the proper education and support to those kids' needs, then there is a problem. And that problem needs to be fixed in the building, not in the classroom at the ESC students' expenses. The funniest, the saddest, the best or the worst part of all this is that some inclusion classes have no support facilitators. Neither there are 2 teachers in the classroom. I'm begging you, please, members of the board, to instruct the school district to make all the necessary adjustments to stop in every school, in every classroom, for every student, this discriminatory practice, policy, procedure against the ESC students. So together, the board, the district, and the teachers, we all can make a difference for them, their education, and their future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jane Justice, Edith Pride, Ginger Blankenship.
Somebody's left their keys here. Somebody's lost their keys. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Jane Justice. And the reason why I know that we're going to put the tax question on the ballot, but I don't think that releases anybody from the responsibility of what's actually happening if we raise taxes. The people are really outraged when they find out. Many people do not know what these inflated salaries are that the executives are receiving here at the school. You know the ones I'm talking about that were created, at least 10 extra executive positions created, up near, almost $300,000 a year base salary. That would be okay if it was necessary, but it isn't. And it's really interesting that nobody considered when they did that to throw a few crumbs to the teachers. It was really interesting, and now you want to raise taxes for the teachers. I heard someone say also a couple meetings ago that the schools were overcrowded and you need to build schools. I guess you're working on that. So you're going to need more money after that, too. It's just a continual asking for money. Wow, I wonder who's going to be getting that contract. And I know how they go, because they don't always go the way they're planned, do they? Now, when you decided to allow illegal residents to flood the schools, you actually broke the law, and you broke the trust of the American taxpayer. Palm Beach County is receiving a nice portion of $800 million for school security from the state. So there's also a lot of money. There's a lot of new construction going on. So that's going to be tax money coming in. So why do you have to go back and beat the poor people down again? Okay, I'm telling you, it's not, what's going on out there is not good. And there's much, okay, where is the accountability? Now, I believe that the children are being used, and they have been used to confiscate what has been easy money. If we really care about the children, we'll show them by example what it is to balance a budget. Will we take care not to bankrupt the city, the state, and the country? Because when the dollar bill collapses, everybody's going to suffer. And I want to know where the jobs are going to be for these kids when they get out of school. Just for the lucky few who play the game? And what exactly are we teaching? I'm really concerned because I heard a few people get up here, teachers, and they were wondering. There was, I guess you've had over 100 teachers let go and you didn't tell them why. Well, what is really going on? Why? I'm concerned about that. What's being taught? Everything comes from the top down. I heard somebody here on the board say they were so upset that the kids were being separated at the border. Let me tell you something. The American soldiers that lost their lives, they've been separated by their children.
All right, thank you very much. So, next speaker. All right. So, and I would like to invite a speaker to, if they'd like to get the real information, please feel free to call the district. Somebody from district staff would be glad to. Mrs. Pride.
Hello.
Mrs. Pride.
Yes, good evening. Mrs. Pride. And I
I represent Area 14 for CTA, but today I'm speaking as an individual. So happy third day of school, Dr. Flournoy. You don't know me maybe as much as I wish you did. However, when I was here before, you were in another department, and I don't know if you paid attention to what I said because it really didn't affect you. However, now that you're the big cheese, you're the boss, I just wanted to welcome you to the county, because before, you know, you had all the people celebrating you, your people, your family, your kinfolk. Everybody was so happy, and so I just said, let him have a little peace. But this is your day to meet me. And happy third day of school, all the board members. So now that you're here, I'm just glad everybody's doing so well. I'm glad Ms. Whitfield is feeling better. I'm just glad to see everybody, and this is just a welcome. So now I really want to say this. Props out to Dr. N. Salzman. He is my area director, and I have a wonderful relationship with him. I can call him whenever I want, and he will call me back. He hears and he actually listens, and I know he wants to crawl under that seat right now, but too bad. And my other, my elementary superintendent, Jamie Wyatt, who I know is under the chair now somewhere, I want to give shout out to her. My principal, Renee Elf, we are on that ship. She's the captain, and we are rowing the boat. And our assistant principal, Monique Coyle, she came last year. Y'all took Mr. B from us. But you gave us somebody good, and she's wonderful. So I want to shout out to her. And I just want to say, Frank came to my school on the first day of school. Frank Barbieri. He is my school board member. Hey, hey. And Jamie Wyatt was here today. And so the people have just started out well. And I still want you to know, and you know, the news have told us all about the Tolman Douglas children went back to school today. We all said it was kind of depressing. However, I want you to consider two things. Dr. Fenoy, get your pencil. Are you ready to write? Okay, because my time is running. This is the first time I ever spoke without a speech. Okay, I want you to check out the schools, the older schools that were built by railroad tracks. Because, you know, a lot of these towns, these cities, Boca One, okay, they don't want the train to toot a horn because it's noise. So you're going to either get killed by the silent train or be woke up by the noisy train. Yeah, I don't understand that, but you need to find out what to do. And I think you need to have y'all, come on. You need to have a practice drill for evacuation at every school, because it's not the time when everybody's freaking out, crying and screaming and hollering, trying to evacuate. Okay, so now everybody, thank y'all. And remember this, Dr. Flournoy, pay teachers what we have earned, because you can't pay us what we're worth.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Blankenship. Mrs. Blankenship. That concludes our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mrs. Brill, second by Mrs. Whitfield. All in favor, all opposed. We stand adjourned.
Carol, she would.